Sonia. Hi, sweetie. I love your background.
Hello. Oh, thank you. New website, so have to advertise wherever I can.
SPJ Design LLC. Okay. All right.
Let's see.
We just brought everybody together, so we're going to be just welcoming everybody in just a moment. So good. Glad you were able to join us.
We're working on updating our website. We are hoping for an October 1st launch.
Oh,
so we're excited about that.
Who's doing the design?
Karina from Visible Innovations.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, she's been around forever.
Our last Zoom, she had this little kitty, like a little tiny kitten, orange little kitten, and he kept on like climbing on her. Oh my gosh, it was the cutest thing. And that was an enjoyable Zoom, just for the cat.
There you go. See, and you remembered it. That's the important thing.
We have somebody in my BNI group has a duck, a white duck with one eye, one bad eye, one good eye, and something happened to its head. I don't know. It's the craziest thing, but the duck has become very popular at 7:30 Friday. That's all we talk about.
Oh.
Do we want to get started?
We do.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kathy Seeley, the new executive director with the Chamber. It's very nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for joining us. We are Marcia is gonna introduce Mary from Dynamics Online. And I look forward to seeing everyone again. Thank you so much. Marcia?
Hi, everybody. I hope everybody can see and hear me and I'm not frozen. I'm looking forward to, I've been involved with the Women's Connection for the Beechwood Chamber for quite some time. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody, seeing everybody, and introducing people to Beechwood venues and new companies and new restaurants and new retail. And hopefully we'll be doing that soon. We were just talking while you were in your breakout room about how do we get back into the tchotchkes? You know, we're not really distributing those pens and the new material and new where's the magnet for your refrigerator, and we will definitely be doing that. A topic that we have that appears in just about every survey at the end of our Women's Connection, what do you want to hear? What do you want to learn about? Is always the digital media, the digital marketing, and the social media. How do we do that? How do we budget for it? Can we do it ourselves? Can we use a company? And we have a friend of the Chamber, Dynamics Online, has a new marketing director. Her name is Mary Farrell. And I know Mary from quite some time from a company that she used to be involved with. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say about her suggestions for digital marketing and social media, and then she will be available for Q&A for whatever it is that you, the specific things that maybe came up in your breakout room, or specific things for your company or a company that you're thinking about. But for today and for now, I'd like to introduce Mary Farrell.
Unmute. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, today's topic of the conversation about digital marketing is a real broad one. And so I thought I might just use a PowerPoint screen share today to go over some of the basics about digital marketing, which I'm sure a lot of us already know, but just provide kind of a groundwork. And then talk about some real life examples of companies that I work with in different ways. So using digital marketing as far as SEO or paid ads or a combination, and how, in my job, there are so many different ways you can work this, but depending on what the company needs, I've been able to use different aspects of digital marketing to help them achieve their goals online. whether that is to just raise brand awareness, or to generate leads coming in, or to sell more stuff online, or just to rank higher in a Google search because they want to be known in Cleveland as the best of what they do. So yeah, I'll go through the PowerPoint, and then feel free to interject with questions. They can be as specific as you want about your particular situation. You know, that is even better and more relevant, I think, as far as talking about how we can use this stuff. So just to give you, actually, would you mind if I did a screen share at this point?
Do you know how?
The host has disabled participant screen sharing. So I think all you need to do
Let me
is,
see if I can, wait.
I'm now the host, awesome. And I'm gonna share my screen here. All right, does everybody see digital marketing for small business? Can we see that? Are we up and running? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so let's go through here. Just wanted to show a little snippet. These are the guys that I work with over at Dynamics Online. It's a small boutique design firm that was in Beechwood, and now we're kind of spread all over Cleveland working from home. But we design websites, and we also do internet marketing to support that. So it's not just putting up a website, but it's not just, you know, build it and they will come, build it and then have a marketing plan to support that to, you know, reach the goals of the companies that we work for. So we've been in business for over 20 years. This is Bruce, and he's the owner. I'm sure you guys know of him. He's very influential, not influential. He works a lot with the Beechwood Chamber. He goes to a lot of their meetings. A little bit about me and my background. So I came to Dynamics in February, and I've worked online in one way or another for perhaps, well, over 30 years. So I have had a number of different companies, and really early on in 1998, I launched my first website. So I developed my own website to sell product online. And ever since then, I've gone through a variety of different websites and web platforms, as well as how to market those and how to get in front of people to bring them to my site to buy stuff. So over 30 years, I've been learning firsthand knowledge about how you build sites and how you market them and how you develop your target audience and how you get in front of that target audience. So a lot of what I've learned is just, you know, from user experience and the breadth of knowledge I've been able to, you know, develop over 30 years of this, testing stuff and watching things evolve and having the opportunity to test little things here and there has really given me a real advantage about how to view social media marketing and digital marketing and how to use it properly. So continuing on, just want to touch on what traditional marketing is in contrast to digital marketing. So traditional marketing, you know, is the print stuff. It's radio, print, TV, magazine, newspaper, billboards, point of sale. This is still really valuable in marketing a business, but today's dynamic online area also needs to be considered. So there's still value in doing this, but traditional marketing is generally, it can be more expensive. It's not very flexible. Once you set your TV ad up, you know, it's very hard to change that. There's not a lot of targeting you can do, very narrow targeting you can do with traditional marketing. If you're doing like a broad mailing campaign, you can't, it's really hard to drill down into a demographic, a certain age or certain education level. And you can do that all much more easily with digital marketing. So digital marketing encompasses a wide variety of areas, everything from building websites, to being on search engines, to getting on social platforms, to getting into video and print, and images. So it's a much more varied type of place, but we need to be here because people are on digital platforms. We are in a digital world. And this is a really cool chart that kind of shows, it really brings it into perspective. This is data from January of 2019, but here we can see like the total world population. And of the 7.6 billion people, we've got 5.1 billion who are using mobile phones, which is unbelievable to think about. You know, even the poorest, most remote places in Africa and Southeast Asia and Northern China, people have mobile phones. And then what's even more interesting is that 4.3 billion are internet users. So just because you know, everybody thinks that, oh, you need a computer to get on the internet. Well, that's not true anymore, as we know. If you've got a phone in your hand, you're attached to the internet. And so this is a really interesting look to see how important it is not just to be connected to the internet, because the majority of world members are, but especially for mobile. So if you design your website for desktop only and it's not mobile responsive, if you are using a desktop and you are just targeting desktop users, you're missing out on mobile users. So kind of a neat chart. It really drills the point home that digital marketing is essential, especially mobile marketing. So when we talk about digital marketing, just kind of a quick shot here, it involves actually a lot of different things. So it involves some social media, but that's just a part of what digital marketing really is. It encompasses paid ads, email marketing, marketing automation with automatic pushes to people, inbound marketing, affiliate marketing, your own website. So it's important to realize that developing out the SEO on your own website is an essential part of your digital marketing plan. And of course, content marketing. So content and social get a lot of attention. People are always skeptical about digital ads, but a lot of people just kind of miss the boat on how powerful email marketing is, or how really effective market automation can be nowadays. If you buy shoes from Zappos, which I recently did, I'm going to be getting emails from Zappos and touch-ins from them for the next several months. Did you like your shoes? Do you have any comments? Do you want to share what you bought with your friends? Can you give us feedback? Can you leave a review? If you like these shoes, maybe you would like these shoes. Here's a coupon for 20% off. Fall fashions are now here. Do you know what I mean? It goes on, and that's all being automated based on what I purchased and how to keep me in the loop, in the Zappos loop. So anyway, continuing on here, just to let you know, all these really need to be considered if you're putting together a strong digital marketing plan. The world of digital marketing is quite complex and it's changing every day. There are new features. Does anybody use Instagram? I think somebody said they used Instagram. Yeah, and I'm sure if you're on Instagram, you saw the new Instagram Reels feature, which is a competitor that's trying to pull business from TikTok. So brand new feature. I just logged into IG 2 weeks ago. I'm like, oh my God, what's this Reels thing? So as well as Google is always changing their algorithm, what they're looking for. So all these are just some things that to take into consideration when you're thinking about how are you positioning your business, your service, or your product online, and how can you stay on top of the changing field. This is a pretty basic slide. It talks about marketing ideas in general, right? You want to set your goals, you want to know your target audience, then you want to create relevant content, measure your success, and improve, analyze and improve the next time you go around and do something. The reason I put this chart up was because when I talk to people about, hey, what are you doing online for your digital marketing? It's not uncommon for people to say, oh, I started a Facebook site and, you know, I'm posting on there every day. I'm like, well, you're in construction. Why are you on Facebook? Well, you know, I've got a personal Facebook account, so I thought I would create a business profile on there too. So that kind of idea is not really a good strategy, right? If you're just jumping into, you know, creating content on Facebook, but you're not sure if your target's there, that's not a good way to go. And if you're not sure what your goals are, you know, do you want to just raise brand awareness? Then maybe, yeah, Facebook is going to be a relevant place for you to be. If you want to drive leads, Facebook is not a good platform for that. And if your target market are businesses, if you are a B2B company, then Facebook is definitely not where you want to be. You want to be on LinkedIn. And so knowing what your goals are first and your definite target audience are two things that a lot of people, when they just jump in without going through this process, but then they're just going to waste time posting on Facebook and not getting anywhere. And then they're going to say, oh, Facebook, it didn't work for me, or social media doesn't work for me. And that is not the case. So, you know, I'd highly offer this advice that before you just jump into something, or, you know, do a buckshot approach and be out in all social media, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, before you spend all that time doing that, take a step back, figure out who your target audience is and what you want to do, and then figure out the best place to be. And that's where you want to spend your time. We'll talk about that a little bit more with some examples here. I love this slide. So this shows really how complex and intertwining the loop of all the digital marketing aspects can be. You want to build your site out with SEO. If your site isn't built with SEO, with engaging site, first with a user engaging site, and second, if you don't have that SEO built out, then there's no need to draw people to your website. If people come to your website and they aren't sure exactly what you're talking about, or they can't find you because Google's not ranking you properly, then there's no need to spend a lot of money trying to drive traffic to your site if it's not going to work. So the first thing I always suggest is you need to build an engaging site. You need to make sure it's got the basic SEO in there so that Google can find you and rank you properly. And then you start building out content and pushing information out there to pull people in. And these all work together, providing content, developing out your email campaign, social marketing, and then finally pay-per-click. So we're going to talk about paid ads as well, which can be a real help for some businesses, but not all. So here's a neat chart. It talks about whether you should be on Facebook or whether you should spend more time getting a higher ranking on Google. And really it goes back to who is your target audience and what do you want to achieve? Like I can give you an example that, well, yeah, there was a construction company that we were helping out, and they developed out a Facebook profile, and they had quite a number of Facebook followers. But when we went through to look at who their competition was in the construction industry, all of their competitors were on LinkedIn and Bing. They were advertising on Bing. So this one construction company was spending a lot of time posting on Facebook, but they weren't on Bing and they weren't on LinkedIn. So they were missing a huge potential to get, you know, competitive business from their main competitors. So realizing what each channel does for you and then understanding or taking that next step, which one should you be spending your time with? Of course, Google gets a lot of attention. Everybody wants to be at the top of a Google search engine, right? The search results. But it is a very complex issue as well, how you do that. If you can do that, how you do that, if you would even want to do that. There was another company that I worked for, and all they were interested in was being the top at the #1 position of a Google search all the time, right? So this was a power washing company. And they said, if anybody types in power wash, I want to be at the top of that result every time, #1. And I'm like, well, there's some real problems with that, because that power washing industry is pretty competitive. There are a lot of power washers out there. So tell me, do you want to be #1 in the nation or #1 in Cleveland, Ohio? Because really, you're not going to travel out to Montana to do power washing, right? He said, no, he wants to be #1 in Cleveland. And I said, well, how are you getting most of your business right now? Are you finding that a lot of people are finding you on Google? And he said, no, most of it is referral business. Have you heard of this before? You know, this whole chestnut where most of business is coming from referrals or people that you know or previous business. So I'm like, well, we could spend thousands of dollars each month to get you at the top of the Google search for power wash in Cleveland, or we could use that money to boost your referrals to get you more business. With that, he's like, well, no, let's get more business, right? So we switched around that strategy. Instead of pouring thousands of dollars into buying keywords on a Google Ads program, we switched that into generating referrals, reviews, automation, into sending out emails to his previous customers saying, please recommend me. Do you need any further service? Getting the email campaign going and building it like that, which was much more valuable to him. I do want to touch on paid ads here. So a lot of people think that digital marketing is all about paid ads. How much money do I need to spend in paid ads? But the truth is that until you have your website built out properly and your SEO properly integrated, there's no need to spend money on paid ads. This is an issue that a lot of people, once I explain it, then they get it. And I'll give you a really good example here. I'm going to flip over to this site. So one of our clients through Dynamics is a company called Commercial Asset Preservation. And they do, they preserve commercial real estate that is abandoned or vacant, and they put up the fencing around it, and they put the tape around, the caution tape or whatever. So I was talking to the owner here, and we were talking about doing some paid ads, because right now commercial real estate is, there's a lot of vacant commercial real estate due to COVID. And so his business is picking up. So we wanted to get the word out there a little bit more about his services. And so we were talking about how much money he would need to put into an ad campaign. And I said, well, let me just take a look at your website here. So this is his website. And I went in and I did a real basic SEO audit to see how well his site was working. And I found out that he was missing some of the most essential basic SEO possible. So Google was not going to rate his site highly, and he was not going to get even on page 1, nowhere near page 1, if somebody was looking for these very specific service areas. So the first thing I said, you know what, we need to focus on shaping up your website, the back end of that. And then once that's done, then we can look at paid ads. So we did the SEO work. And right now, I'll just show you some of the stuff we look for. We look for H1 tags. These are headers. And this is super important to Google. Google wants to know what this site is about. So we put this in here: commercial asset preservation, offers property maintenance, repairs, inspection services for operating and vacant commercial real estate throughout the United States and Canada. So it's a snippet description that we coded with H1s that now Google, when Google is scanning the site and Google is looking for the H1 to find out what is this site about, boom, now they know. So this was missing before we went through and added it. One of the most basic things you can do to a site is to add H tags to it. After we did some basic SEO tuning on the site, I said, you know what, before we start with Google Ads, have you thought about capturing the attention of people who are looking for you first on your site? And so another digital marketing kind of tool that I employed for this particular company was the pop-up message. So it may or may not pop up now again. But you guys saw that pop-up when it first came up, right? Yeah, it said, if you need vacant property services, call us. So it's a little conversion tool that we can put on a site to pop up and capture your attention to convert more visitors into calling for services. So after we were done with these two steps, now we're back to the discussion about paid ads. But only until those basic things are taken care of do we ever want to start talking about spending money on ads. All right, so here's a quick chart that is kind of neat. It talks about the differences and strengths between SEO and PPC. PPC is pay per click, and it's a ubiquitous term for paid ads. So if you see PPC, it's referring to paid advertisements that could be on Google or it could be on social media. And it just depends on where is it best to take out those ads. Oh, you know what? I wanted to talk about a couple other examples here as well. So let's go back to this slide. So that's commercial asset preservation. Here is an example of taking out, oh, this is a good one. Okay, let's talk about Dr. Marsh. So we work with a cosmetic dentist here in town, and he does a really great job on his website developing out written content. So he posts blogs at least twice a month, and he will push that content out automatically to Facebook. And recently, I suggested that we might try a campaign, a paid ad campaign on LinkedIn. And because we wanted to get in front of an audience that would be interested in his cosmetic dentistry services. And I was thinking that, you know, everybody's on Zoom now, and job seekers are on Zoom, and everybody wants to look their best on camera right now. So that might be a really good audience to hit, people who are job seekers, who are looking to improve their camera look, like this much of their look, because that's how they're going to be interviewed right now, right? On this, not the whole like suit with the briefcase and the portfolio and the 2-inch pumps. You know, this is all everybody's seeing now. So trying to have the best Zoom face possible. So we developed out this small LinkedIn campaign, and this is an example of it. So this is a paid ad, but it looks very natural. It's very native in the LinkedIn format. A lot of people don't even realize this is an ad. but you see the word promoted here. And when you click on it to learn more, then you're shown his phone number and said, call for a free consultation to talk about, tooth whitening or veneers or whatever you're interested in, Invisalign things, whatever you need. So, by talking to Dr. Marsh, I was able to get a sense of, where he wanted to get and who he wanted to get in front of, who is his target market, and then finding unique ways, creative ways to get in front of them. So LinkedIn is just one of those ways. Another example is a client that we work for, and they are called Anna Maria of Aurora. They are a senior living community. And when COVID hit, everything was thrown up in the air. The number of residents went down. People were pulling their relatives out of these assisted living facilities, or nobody wanted to put their older relatives into an assisted living facility. There was a shortage of workers. Nobody wants to leave home. And Anna Maria was just like all scrambling to figure out, as all of us were, how to maintain their business and their services to the elder community, offering their services as well as providing those services well. And they were in desperate need of bringing in more people, more nurses to help out. They had a lot of nurses leave, or a lot of nurses were staying home, and they had a staffing shortage. So we decided we would put together a very small budget marketing campaign for them on Google. We decided we were going to focus on Google, and it was going to be an awareness campaign that they were looking for nurses. So this is an example of a dynamic, responsive ad that we put in. Again, it's a very low budget per month, but they're getting tremendous results from it. And it's kind of in response to COVID, but also to keep their pipeline of nurse applicants going, which they never had before. So putting an ad in the paper or an Indeed just wasn't working for them. And having just a little bit of money boosting their awareness on Google to a very target audience. So we really shaped up their target audience geo-targeted. So only people within a geo radius of Aurora, Ohio, were going to be shown this ad. And then we put also in an age demographic, a very narrow age parameter, because we didn't want, people under 18. We needed them to complete nursing school in order to apply. And we didn't want to have older people apply either. So anybody over 55, they're like, well, that's kind of reaching our resident age. So we want, this age group. So anyway, it's a very targeted ad campaign. We put in these images, and then the text, and Google is providing this content in a variety of different ways depending on what the search terms are. So that is an example of where we didn't go back to the website. The website was fine, but we just added a little bump as far as advertising budget, very little bump. It's like $150 a month, and it's really working for them. And then finally, I wanted to show you this company. So Abenaki is a really different company. They do a lot of industry. They create this product that cleans oil from water, and it's used in a variety of different industries, the car industry, as well as more heavy industry. They're based here in Ohio, and they are a great example of a company that uses both on-site and a very heavy paid ad campaign to work together. So they've been around for a while, and they've got a very robust, well built out website. They post to blogs frequently. They're creating content. They push it automatically to LinkedIn and Twitter, because that's where their targets are. But they also, you can see their ad pops up here You type in Abenaki, their ad pops up right at the top of the page. So you see Abenaki here, and then as you scroll down, you see Abenaki here. This is the organic search result. This is the paid. That double view on the page is very, very powerful. So this is actually a little thing that my screen shows, but it's very powerful consciously to somebody who's looking for Abenaki. Oh, they're here and they're here. Boy, they're dominating the page. They must really know what they're doing. And I just want to show you their site here. It's a very industrial company, but they do a lot of really great on-site features. They've got their phone number very prominently displayed. They've got the 2 tiles up here. They've got a chat feature off to the side. Request a quote, so you can call or request a quote. And they've got lots of pictures. They've got video content in here. They've got blog posts, an ebook. So this is an exceptionally rich SEO site. If anybody's interested to, this is a great example if you want to check it out. All right, I've talked a lot. One last slide I want to get back to as we wrap up the presentation here. All in all, people think that if you're just starting off in the whole digital marketing thing, you think you might be able to do it all, but really a well-seasoned, educated, experienced digital marketer has a variety of different skills, hard skills and soft skills, in order to make all this work properly. Some of the hard skills are the analytics, content strategy, the social media strategy, understanding how you get in front of people on mobile and e-commerce. Some of the soft skills, of course, creativity, how do you write up that post, or what image do you use? What tools are going to be best to get in front of your target audience? Do you understand how to put together a LinkedIn ad versus a Facebook boost? Adaptability, depending on the client, depending on the goal, depending on the season, you might need to do different things. Collaboration, leadership, of course, with the team. So having a good team player, a marketing team player, can be very, very helpful for any business. And I know that not all businesses have the resources to hire a digital marketer, but just to let you know, this is what we do too. So, and some people are really good at the soft skills, and we come in and we help with the analytics. Or some companies are really good at running the numbers, but they're just not sure of where to put their ad placement. And so we help out people in different ways. It's not all like a one set package fits all with us. And that's why I really like working for Dynamics Online. It is very customized, and it's very, we talk to people, figure out what you need, and then just do whatever that is. That is about it. I'm not even on the regular presentation there. If you do have any questions, let me know. I think we can unmute everybody. Maybe I do that.
Okay, bear with me for just a minute.
Thank you so much, Mary. You did a great job. It was that was great. What you'll find after this meeting is that all the people who have registered for this event have provided their contact information. So I want them to reach out to you, and I want you to be able to reach out to them as well. So we like to interact the contact information so people can know one another's business, and to stay in touch.
That's great. Appreciate it. Anybody have any questions they'd like to run by? It looks like everybody's muted.
So I have a question. As a graphic designer, and my business is very visual, and on business to business, a lot of new business owners, entrepreneurs are like my target audience. So what is my best platform for that?
Sorry. Okay, so did you say business to business?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. I guess I would first say, if you put together a list of your 5 biggest competitors or people you identify with that do similar work, and you just go and do a quick kind of a research project about where they are, you know, like check out their website and where are their links. Do they have the LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube icons up there? And then just click into those and see, oh, you know, they've got 1,000 followers on Twitter, and they've got, you know, 10 videos that they've produced, and they seem to be producing a video a week nowadays. Then that should, you know, I put together a little chart. You know what, let me get out of the screen share.
I'm not sure how to not make you the host. I can't find anything on here.
Mary, because you're the host now, yeah, there you go.
Good.
Yeah, that's because we made Mary the host.
Yeah. No, you definitely want to see my hand motions now. Anyway, I just put together a chart, right? It lists my competitors, and then, you know, how many Twitter followers they have, how many LinkedIn followers they have, how many YouTube followers, are they even on any other, you know, are they on IG? And just kind of make a chart like that. And that gives a real nice initial, I don't know, basic understanding about, if you want to be in front of the same target market as these people, well, that's where you need to be, right? And then that should really narrow it down. If you're going to be on which social media you're going to be on, or which social media channels you're going to be on. Because generally I would say, you know, as a knee-jerk reaction, if you're trying to get in front of businesses, it's LinkedIn. But that's not necessarily where somebody might search for a new logo for their company. You know, I'm sure you know how your customers find you, your clients find you. Are they doing a Google search, or is it referral? And
Referral for the most part.
So, and
my website's new, so I don't know yet.
yeah, well, make sure it's got SEO on it. But let's say, you know, you want to focus your time on building out that referral area and cultivating that. Then that's an email campaign, right? And you're going to use social media just to support your image as a creative business. And in that regard, it would be Instagram. It wouldn't be LinkedIn. So yeah, just a couple ideas to initially think about before you spend too much time into developing out a channel that's just not going to work for you.
Yep.
Hey, Susan.
Hello. How are you? My question is, because I just think it's a good general question, is for how long do you try something out, and how long do you, and then let a client know how things are going, and when do you switch, and you can also have a lot of things going at once. So how do you communicate that with the client?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. So it depends on if it's a brand new campaign or if it's going to be supporting a long-term objective. So if you're doing a long-term objective, like building out your organic SEO on your site, and you're going to be writing blogs and posting content, then that's going to be a long-term project, right? Like a year or years.
Okay.
If you're doing some sort of small marketing boost to promote a product, right? Like back to school product, then you're gonna, before you push everything out there, you kind of come together and you're like, well, how long is this campaign going to run? It's going to run 2 months, August and September, a back to school campaign. We're selling a new fancy pen for kids that they can use on their touchscreen computers, right? So that would be just a 2-month thing. The LinkedIn campaign that I started for Dr. Marsh of Cleveland Smiles, doing the targeting to job seekers who might want cosmetic dentistry done. That's a brand new kind of foray for us into the LinkedIn platform. So I'm running it for 2 months to see what the progress is. I'm constantly checking in with Dr. Marsh. I'm like, what does your front desk say? Are people calling to schedule appointments because they've seen you on LinkedIn? And after 2 months, if we don't get any feedback from his office, like nobody's calling, then we're gonna, I think that's enough time on that.
Yeah.
And we'll just reroute our energy into something else.
Anyone else?
Kathy?
Yes.
Kathy?
What do you think about the pop-up, how on the website when you go and it pops up? I know when I'm going on websites, it annoys me.
Yeah, well, it can be annoying, but it works. So studies have shown, and even Google, at one time Google was dinging websites that had a pop-up, and they would rank them lower in a Google search result because they said the pop-up interferes with a user's ability to kind of see what the site is all about. They're popped up with this message and they got to close it out, and it's annoying. And so Google took that idea and said, if any site is using a pop-up, they're going to rank lower than a site that's not. But they've changed their perspective on that because pop-ups work, and they get an urgent message out there that is very, very helpful in the conversion process. So really, if you're spending your time building a website and you're spending time getting visitors there, then you want to convert them into calling or taking action. And a pop-up is very useful for that. So, I'll show you that pop-up. Let me see if I can trigger it again.
Do I have to make you the host again?
Yeah. Well, no, you don't. Yes, you do. I have it on my phone. Can you do that?
I don't seem to have.
Can I just do it?
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, get ready. I'm going to hit it. Let's see. This pop-up only triggers once a user wants a visit, otherwise it won't pop up again. There. So here you are looking at the site, and then you've come to commercial asset preservation because you heard that they did vacant real estate protection services. So I triggered this pop-up to come up in about 10 seconds before somebody had time to click off the site. But they can click off it very easily. So do you see that X button? So in a way, it's an invasive way to capture somebody's attention, but technically that's why 90% of this traffic is here anyway, right? They need this service. So you can call us today, or just you're like, no, I want to read more, boop, and now it's out. And so many of us are used to pop-ups nowadays, so it's much less invasive because we're used to them. Anyway, I think I'm talking too much. I think you get the point.
I have another question, unless somebody else does. As a business, with Google changing their algorithms so often, how does a business stay keep their website current?
Yeah, well, unless you're working with a firm, a marketing firm, a professional digital marketing firm, or unless you take the time to keep up with this sort of thing, you're never going to know. And I see a lot of people, a lot of small businesses are too caught up in, oh, we got the site up. Okay, now we can focus on business again. And they don't take the time to upgrade the site or maintain it or do little adjustments to it or keep up with the changing environment that Google is demanding. And 5 years later, their site is completely outdated. It's not going to rank well. Google's not going to like it. They're not going to show it up in their listings. And all of a sudden they're sinking, right? You spend all this time building a site and now it's a detriment to their trust authority for their service or product. So really it's important. Yeah.
Sorry. Are there affordable options for the smaller businesses to have the website maintenance?
Yeah, I mean, like when people come to us and they're like, you know, my website hasn't been updated in a while, or I'm slipping in my rankings, or you know, they want some adjustments done to their site. The first thing I always do is I do a real basic SEO look to see how updated it is. Is it running well on mobile? You know, before I start tweaking and adjusting. And then, all right, so there's a company, they do, it's a really cool company. I'll show you. This is another local Cleveland company. And this guy trains bomb sniffing dogs. Police dogs.
Wow.
There's a pop-up I did. With COVID, when COVID hit, he was getting a lot of calls that people wanted German Shepherds for their houses. They were worried about home security, you know, with riots and, you know, changing environment. So to draw attention that he also trains household dogs, family dogs, for home security, I created this pop-up for him, which has been very effective for him. Otherwise, if you just hit this first page, you're looking at explosive narcotics, police, and then you finally get to family dogs. So in any case, he wanted me to change. He came to me earlier this year. He said, Mary, can you please put some updated pictures of dogs on this page? I said, sure. But while I was doing that, I said, you know, your site is really, it hasn't been upgraded for a while. We really need to do a little bit of SEO fine tuning for you. So it's one of the projects that we do as a professional, you know, digital marketing company. We can do small projects that will tune up a site or do an SEO audit or just review to see if it's meeting the Google algorithm requirements. So yes, proper digital marketing, a flexible and dynamic digital marketing company can do that for you instead of like we only do a package deal type of thing.
Thank you so much, Mary. It's a 1:02. Marsha, would you like to wrap things up?
Yes, I want to thank everyone for coming. This is, you know, obviously the Beechwood Chamber Women's Connection, but there are many, many opportunities to get involved with Beechwood businesses and the Beechwood Chamber. We're going to use the contact information that you provided when you registered today to let you know about the next Women's Connection, which is going to be Healthy is Powerful on September 17th, give you information about how to get in touch and follow up with Mary and her company, and also to make some suggestions for all the different things that the Beechwood Chamber is doing so that you can get in touch, stay in touch, have companies know you, and have and you know them as well. I just want to thank everyone for coming today and for showing up and for your attention to Mary. This was a great topic, and I hope that this is an opportunity to fine-tune your business and to have some ideas for how to do things better. You'll hear from us in the email, in the thank you for coming today. And if you have feedback about topics, about opportunities, about times of day, respond back and please let me know. Look forward to seeing all of you in person sometime soon.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mary.